Hey, Jay here. Today we're going to give you a really cool video of a KX250 two-stroke that came out really cool. Of course, we started with a junker, KX250, and Michael Fischer out of Nebraska did all the work on this thing, and he did a really good job building this thing from scratch, from a junker into a full-on magazine project bike that came out amazing for Racer X. So, and the reason a lot of guys are doing these two-strokes now is because they're cost-effective and you can do a lot of the work yourselves. A lot less money than working on a four-stroke and rebuilding one of those. So, and you come out with a really cool bike at the end, and some guys go, oh, it's too much money, because you end up spending it. You can just do A level, B level, C level of what you see in this build, and you see at the beginning, this thing is pretty much just a full-on junker and comes out to be just showroom quality at the end. So enjoy what you see. Okay, so for this 2004 KX250, Michael worked on this thing for a few years and did it up a few years ago, and has some good footage here of him working on this thing. Tell us about when you put this thing together, how long it took, and a little bit of what you did.
Well, it started back in 2014. We bought this bike off a buddy of mine. It was blown up, nothing good on it. Basically had to tear it down to nothing. We rebuilt it all at that point. So we had the cylinder board replated, made it all like new again, basically. Rebuilt the motor from nothing, new crank, new everything, new gaskets, made it good as new. From there,
And you got the frame powder coated?
Yeah, we have frame, swing arm, all powder coated.
Was there any damage to anything that you needed to repair or look at on the frame on the bike?
No, frame was actually pretty solid, which was about the only solid part of it.
Foot peg holes were not too jacked up or anything like that, too sloppy?
No, had a weird back brake on it. That was about it. Something from another brand that they MacGyvered to make it work.
Okay, so when you're putting the thing back together, tell us about on these bikes, you put all new linkage bearings in these things, swing arm bearings, all that kind of stuff, steering stem bearings. On the KX250, what'd you do for the front end on that bike?
That one, the only difference is really the plastics are updated to the 13 KXF plastics. Otherwise, it's the 04 suspension sent off to factory connections.
Factory connection went through that for you on the KX250 and set it up for you. And then on the plastic, you run a different shrouds, right?
I really liked the way the 08s looked for the Cowies, so I really wanted to make those work, and I found that the tank mount bolts mounted right up, so all I had to do is make a couple little brackets for it and bolted right on.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that. So we'll have you take a picture of those, and we'll try to get that a picture of those brackets you made up.
Yeah.
We'll try to get that in the video as well and have a little picture of it. And then if somebody finds you on Instagram, you could sell those, for
there we go.
$180 a set or something. So we'll see. You could sell them for whatever anybody's willing to pay for them.
Yeah.
I don't know how much work it is. But then as far as the rest of the bike, what'd you do for carburetor on that bike?
We went with electron carb on that one. I've heard great things. I've never ran them before, so this is a new experience for me on this one. But
we run them on the trail bikes a lot, and our 300s, and what's nice is they're way easy to jet. That you just heard is a two-stroke, which is a lot like what you're going to hear on this KX250 here soon. So really, really cool deal. And then, so what are some other cool bits you have on the KX250?
I got a hold of light speed on that one. Whatever they could provide for the bike, I did the skid plate, the rear rotor cover. That's about it for that. But something really cool is the FMF pipe. Kind of made my own factory fatty out of that one.
Yeah, because FMF doesn't make a factory fatty. They only make the one with the plating. They don't want to not do that. That's all they sell. So he got his stripped.
I sent it down to Premier Vapor Blasting in Georgia, and Bobby down there did a great job working he vapor blasted it all, reheated the wells, and did a clear Cerakote on the pipe. So it should hold up pretty well.
It looks amazing, and yeah, definitely a lot of work. Things runs really good. Hoses?
We did moto hose on that.
You got super sprockets, chain of sprockets. You got graphics.
Went through Elusive Graphics over there for that.
They made some really cool custom looking graphics.
Got a lot of chrome and cyan chrome in there.
Yeah, and then Moto Seat did the seat foam and seat cover on that bike as well. And yeah, the thing definitely looks rad. And I rode, I think 02, 03 is probably the last year I rode KX250s. So I always liked the KX250s. They were pretty cool back then. And it's pretty cool to see you guys putting this thing together.
Something else, we did a lot of the Works Connections bits and pieces on there, a custom engraved caliper cover and or reservoir cover, all the little bits, all the perch and the brake lever and clutch lever, anything we could think of on it for
very cool. Yeah, they make some great pieces. And I said you got Warp 9 wheels, got our Dunlop tires. Anything else you think of that is really good to have on this bike?
As far as good to have on the bike, I mean, the Boysen clutch and ignition covers stand up way better than the stock ones. They look a lot better as well.
And I was thinking, like, how much have you figured out how much money you spent in this entire project?
This one probably close to
$6,000 or $600?
About $6,000.
$6,000. Okay, $6,000. Now, and does anybody give you grief like, hey man, you should just buy a brand new bike? Dude, you get guys hitting you up like, hey dude,
yeah,
buy a brand new one, man.
It's a lot of people who don't see the detail like I do, I guess, that like, why would you ever put that much money into that old of a bike? But I mean, I'd love the old two-strokes, and I want it to look good. I want it to sit in the garage and look like a showpiece.
And look cool. So you're not going to ride it much. You plan on just riding it a little bit occasionally?
Right, yeah.
All right. And yeah, so that's a cool look at this KX250. We got a little bit of footage of Ping riding this thing on the track here at our Racer X shoot, so hopefully you enjoy.